So, up next, let's click this. Let's ignore that. Let's ignore that. I don't care. Code Academy. Oh, forms. All right, we're going to be doing some forms. All right. So, basically, forms allow us to have some sort of user input into what we're doing. Okay. Basically, I never use forms the way they're supposed to be. I always disable the default action because I find it annoying. So we're going to be adding a form in the section element. So yay, we've got a section, an ID of that with an image, and we've got some nice CSS going. Great. Shut up. Oh my god, that thing's annoying. So we're going to make a form. Okay, element under the provided comment. Assign the form with an action. Action equals practice.html. So basically what this means is when you have submitted the form, it will send a post request with the URL practice.html. And you have to set the method post in order for it to send an actual post request. So once you have submitted, it will send a post request. We have a blank form. Add an H1 inside the form, or the text related to the site between the opening tags. H1 text run. Great. Add some details in the form. Great. P test run. Great. Okay, I don't care. All right, text input. All right, so you have different types of text input. You have like numbers, you have text, you have color, you have a bunch of different types of inputs. And so basically the default is text. And so there's a little bit of a anatomy. So you have labels and input, and they work together. So we need to make sure that we label all of our inputs so we know what was happening. So basically it's just going to have us make an input. And notice how this doesn't have a close tag. And you don't have to do that. Can, I'm pretty sure, but you don't have to. Let's start with creating a login form for our users with a type text. Technically, you don't need the type text, but you should put it on there. So now we've got text test. All right, even though we're not submitting any form, let's input a name attribute of username. Name equals username. You also don't have to do that if you do your own custom thing. Basically, what this will do is it'll, when you submit, I love how it got rid of our practice.html thing. When you submit, it'll add whatever the value of this input is as a part of the body. So it'll say, it'll do a key value pair of username and the value of this as part of the body of the request that it's sending. We'll learn a lot more about requests in the future, but that's fundamental. If you know about requests, that's basically why you put the name attribute. Let's see what happens if we add a value and with the value of Davy. So value will just assign a default value. Okay, and I'm also going to add something else. Enter your name. So this is going to render Davy, but if you get rid of everything, it'll say enter your name, which isn't actual text. It's just placeholder text. So that's what this placeholder attribute does. All right, adding a little label. It's good to always label your inputs, always. So we're going to add some label called username. So label for username. Username. So notice how I did for username. This is important because this is linking this label to this input because this input's ID is username and this for is that. So that's important. So make sure you have for each of your labels. Don't just put a label on there. Password input. All right. This is just another thing. So notice how as for user PW, we're going to say input type equals password, name equals password, ID equals user hyphen PW. Okay. And then yep, I did all that. Yep, run. Oh. I didn't input, assign the ID to the correct value, so let's do that. Set the new type to be password. Oh. User PW. This is stupid. So don't do this. If you're going to have one of your inputs be this kind of thing, but you're going to have the other input do this kind of thing, have some consistency. That's dumb. What I would do is either user hyphen name, and so it's user PW, user name, or just do password. Because why not? And it doesn't change anything, except for like what the key value pairs are going to be. All right, number inputs. All right, also really simple. You have a type of number, okay, which there's a little bit of a difference, but so we're going to say input type equals number, and then number inputs have what's called a step, and this is basically the precision of what you want your input to be. So if you want to have a decimal, like have it go up by hundreds of thousands, you do that. If you want to do every other 100,000th, you do that. I'm sorry, 100th. This is 100,000th. I don't know what I was saying. So every 10th, every other 10th, every third 10th, that kind of thing. They want the step to be 1, and so it'll go up by increments of 1. And wants the name to be amount. Whoops, amount. An ID of amount. All right. Notice how when I move this up, it goes by that. But if I change step to be 0.1, it uses decimals. All right, next. Range input. Okay, so this range basically allows us to move a slider back and forth. And we can only have one, which is annoying. There are other things that'll allow you to have two, and that uses jQuery. That's what I don't like about HTML. It doesn't allow you to have a double slider, which is useful sometimes. Let's give our users an option for how they want to cook their patties. All right, this is making me so hungry. Okay. I am really hungry right now, and this is incredibly offensive that they would be doing this to me. Input ID of doneness. Name equals doneness. Okay. And then it's going to have set the attribute to type equals range. Run that. Okay, so now you got that. Okay. So now you want a min, which will be 0. Max will be 5. And step to be 0.5. Which doesn't really make sense why you do that. Why don't you just do 0 and 9, or 0 and 9, and have your step be 1? Whatever. It's the same thing. What do I know? Again, I'm just a musician. All right, checkbox input. All right, here's another thing. This sucks. That really sucks. All right, so it's just going outside of the thing. You don't do that. Yay, I'm criticizing a tutorial. All right, time to add some toppings. Let's make me even more hungry. So it's gonna add a checkbox. Input type equals checkbox. Class toppings. Oh wait, it already has. Whoops. ID equals lettuce. Name equals topping. Value equals lettuce. I'm just gonna copy this. and paste. And this is going to be tomato. Tomato. And this is something else. Oh, that's nothing. All right. Run. I already did that one. Okay. And two choices are good, but better having more. All right. So now input. Okay. Just wants me to add another one. Hello world. Great. So now I've got another thing. Fantastic. Radio button, similar to checkbox, except you can only select one. Checkbox, you can select multiple. Pretty simple, and it runs very similar. So you've got yes. So you make sure that your checkbox are above, or your radio buttons are above. Input type equals radio. ID yes. Type, I already done that. Name equals cheese. And then value equals yes. So what this will do, and checkbox will do, is it'll say the name of cheese will be a value no if you select this radio button. But with checkboxes, it'll be an array of whatever values you put in, essentially. So awesome. Now I already did that one. Great. Next, drop-down list. All right, so drop-downs, this is incredibly useful. We use this all the time on the dashboard. Basically, it allows us to click multiple things, and all browsers support it, or basically all browsers support it. I'm pretty sure all browsers support it. Anyway, we're going to make a select element. All right. And add a select element with a name of bun and ID of bun. Name equals bun. ID equals bun. Great. Run. Great. And add 3 options. So option. And I'm going to do value equals blank. Now, so now option, they have to have values. And so if I select this one, the value, the key value of bun will be sesame. If I select this one, it will be potato. The next one will be none. So burger. Yeah, we're gonna have a burger bun because that makes sense. And I love how this is like off the thing. So yeah, you've got those. Does your third option have a value? Oh, you wanted me to have a completely blank value. Okay, fine, be that way. Whatever. And also, if you want to have one that's like default, you do selected, and then please select an option. And then you also put on disable. And so it'll say, please select an option, but you can't like select it. Oh, disabled. Whoops. Please select an option. You can't select. Please select an option. Maybe we're going to... All right, data list. I don't use it very often, but it's often quite useful if you do use it. Basically, it allows you to have like auto-completion in your code, or auto-completion. So, data list. And so this is ID of sauces and run. Okay. We're going to add some values. So option value equals ketchup. Mayo. This is turning out to be a longer one. Sorry. And make sure it's not empty. Great. Oh, it doesn't want... Can be a value, you make sure it's not empty. Okay, fine. What? Did you assign a value for your third option? Yes, I did. Value equals hi. Hi. Run. What's wrong with this? Okay, nothing's wrong with this. Oh, I didn't do... Okay, I know what's wrong with this. There we go. Turns out you have to write valid HTML in order for it to work. All right, text area is just another input that allows you to create a larger input and also multi-lines. So where do I want me to do it? So text area ID equals extra, name equals extra, rows equals 3, calls equals 40. All right, and then you also have a closing tag. Run. So now we have a text area. Great. What's wrong with that? Oh, now to add some default text. So I forgot. Do you have to put it inside of the thing? Yes. Default. Run. All right. Great. We are almost done, and then we have a submit button. Okay. So it'll be an input type equals submit. And you can also submit by pressing enter from everything. And so we'll say value equals submit. So if I run that, it will create a value equals submit. And so basically I can submit it by pressing enter on any of these, or I can click that button that I just made, which that's a button, by the way. Review. We've got all of this crap. And yeah, so we've made text inputs, number inputs, range inputs, some checkboxes, radio buttons, all of this stuff. Although it doesn't teach you how to use these forms, it just teaches you how to make them. We will be using forms in our thing, but we don't use them the default way because I don't like it. Sorry. All right. Forms. Yay.